Back to Just Start Tip Tuesday. Well, it's the fall, and you can see we've got our pumpkin back out again. This is not the same one from last fall, though.
That would be amazing if it was.
It would be amazing. So it would be a long-lasting pumpkin, and probably a GMO pumpkin.
A GMO pumpkin.
So
going back to yesterday's video.
that's right.
Yeah. So today, what we're gonna ask, we're gonna answer a question put in from Brian. So Brian, thank you. Brian sent like 3 questions over, and they're all great. So we're gonna answer them.
Right.
The second one is we talk a lot, and most people talk a lot in like the news about eating for weight loss. But what about people who want to eat for performance? What about people who want to eat to get the most out of their workouts? That was Brian's question. So, Jay, do you want to lead us off with that?
Yeah. So definitely, obviously your goals are dependent on each individual, but yes, you can absolutely eat to perform, if you will. So that and how you dial in your nutrition would be by macros, and then by breaking your meals out over the course of the day to make sure that you're hitting all of your protein, carbs, and fats. So yes, eating to perform is important if you have a certain goal in mind. So maybe if you're going for that, maybe you're working on a bodybuilding competition, or you're going to do a CrossFit competition. Yes, you can absolutely dial your nutrition in. The thing though is it's important, and especially on your macros over the course of the day, is how you break your meals up. And why I say that is sometimes the people that break their meals up, and let's just say you are on macros and you end up not doing like a meal prepping for the day, what that ends up doing is sometimes people have like, I've got 100 grams of carbohydrates left at the end of the night. And so what you do is then you eat a whole bunch of cereal at 8:30 at night. Well, what does that do to your insulin? It spikes your insulin. Yeah. And you shouldn't be doing that before you go to bed. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's better than going and getting like a Dairy Queen, but
and it's probably actually better than also being 100 grams lower than your carbohydrate intake. Like,
yeah,
we give you macros for a reason, so you should be getting close to them. It's just that you should be trying to space them out appropriately, not leaving, as Jason said, 100 grams of carbohydrates right at the end of the night after you've had dinner.
Sure. And with that, so like eating to perform, like yes, you should be eating before workout and post workout as well. So when you're eating to perform, so that comes into play, like questions of like, well, do I need a pre-workout? You can absolutely use a pre-workout, something that has 100 to 200 grams of milligrams of caffeine, for example.
100 grams of caffeine, dead.
Yeah. Milligrams of caffeine. Sorry. So milligrams of caffeine. That's very safe, and that's actually it actually goes to prove that people actually perform better.
Yes, much better. So, caffeine stunts your perception of pain or discomfort. So when you're getting to that point of the workout where it really starts to suck, you won't feel it as much.
Sure. But. And some people that don't like caffeine, do you need to have it? Absolutely not. If you're eating to perform, you don't actually need the caffeine. So if you're eating well, so taking in a meal 2 to 3 hours before a workout, if you can't get that in, then you should have something at 45 minutes to an hour, and you don't need much before a workout at that point. So you should be having something that's lower glycemic, something that's not going to spike your insulin, and something that's going to do it lower. So something like berries, for example, or apples, or even oatmeal that's going to be a slow digesting or slow release in terms of the insulin. So things on that end. And then getting after the workout, you should be doing a 2-to-1 ratio in terms of carbohydrates to protein. So a 2-to-1. So if you take in 50 grams of carbs, then you have 25 grams of protein. So that you'll get that in within your anabolic window after a workout. So that's something in that 45 minutes to an hour after, or even up to 2 hours after a workout. You've got a little bit of leeway.
You don't need that 30 minute, like there used to be a thing where you had 30 minutes and you were screwed. And guys, just to kind of put that into like an example for you. So both Coach Claire and myself work out at the 6:30 a.m. class every day. And so before the workout, I know she eats oatmeal very early, like 5:30, because she likes a long digestion period. I sleep a little bit later, and I eat a Ezekiel bread, like quick little sandwich on my way in. So it's a couple hundred calories, just a little bit of carbohydrate. It doesn't sit in my stomach. It gets out quickly, but it's slow digesting. And then after the workout, I tend to eat something that looks much more like a lot of people's lunches.
Yeah.
Rice with some meat and some vegetables, because I want carbohydrates and I want protein, and then you should have vegetables when you eat because they're great for you. So that's just like an example of what it might look like to eat right around your workouts. Sure. Carbohydrates that are slower digesting to keep you fueled throughout, and then afterwards a balanced meal of protein, carbohydrates, as Jason said, with a 2-to-1 carb to protein ratio.
And if you can't do something, so I'm just going to throw this in, like I've had a question today, someone asked me like, I don't really like rice. Can I do something different? Yeah, absolutely. Another grain. So like quinoa is excellent.
Sweet potatoes, wet potatoes.
Absolutely.
Pasta, whole grain pasta, something like that. Yeah.
So, and we talked about glycemic index here a few weeks ago, so that'll be a good video for you to refer back to in terms of what that does to your insulin. So, So just a side note there. But yeah, so eating to perform, yeah, absolutely.
Super important.
It is, you can absolutely dial in that nutrition, but again, it depends on your goal. So, I mean, overall, do you have, like, if you don't have this competition goal, then, eating for life is much better.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you're not stressing out about, dialing too deep. Because sometimes when you dial in too deep, it's just like anything. If you work out 3 times a day, what's going to happen over the course of a couple months?
Boom, burnout.
You're going to get burnt out. So same thing like with macro counting and whatnot. It's like people after a competition, they take a step back, from counting and weighing and measuring, because you can get burnt out from that, and it gets too stressful. So it's easier just to take a step back. So, all right. So, Brian, thank you for that question.
Good question.
Happy fall, even though we are sweating.
It is still hot in the box, but breaks tonight. 9 p.m. Cold front comes in.
It's amazing. Look at that. So there's our weatherman.
That's
as
right.
Well. So you
Joe
don't have to
Mills
stay.
weatherman.
Don't even have to stay up for the 11 o'clock.
You don't. You're done already. Go to bed.
Know that. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, we'll come to you next week with another Just Start Tip Tuesday. If you've got a tip or question you'd like for us to answer, please put it in our tip jar. Otherwise, we'll answer a question next week. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.